So recently I released a video titled A Warning for Tesla Stock, and I released that video March 5th. Now since that release of the video, Tesla stock has fallen down nearly 10%. Now what I want to talk about in this video is my outlook for Tesla going forward, so I encourage you guys to watch this video until its entirety, right? So some of the things I want to cover is just really price action with Tesla. I want to talk about some FUD with Tesla, but then I also want to cover some macroeconomic concerns. Now when I released a video for A Warning for Tesla, I mentioned how there's some, just concerns as there's a lot of uncertainty with the credibility of the Federal Reserve, and I mentioned how there's a few dates coming that we absolutely want to pay attention to. So we recently had Jerome Powell testify in front of Congress for 2 straight days, really just emphasizing the goals of the Federal Reserve. And one of the big concerns that was mentioned by a bunch of congressmen and congresswomen has been, unemployment and what are the goals for the Federal Reserve. So one of the biggest days that we want to pay attention to is going to be March 10th. This is when we have updated data on the unemployment rate, right? And now, again, it doesn't just end there, as we're actually going to have another big week, as we're going to have to see what comes out March 14th for the CPI report. So we want to see, is CPI report going to come out even hotter for February, right? That's a huge concern. And then lastly, the dun moment is initially what the Federal Reserve is going to do as far as the decision for, their rates. Of course, if we hike rates by 50 basis points, this is going to hugely impact the overall market. Now, again, if we hike by 25 basis points, it's actually going to be seen as bullish for the market, as it's something that has already been kind of predetermined or pre-expected. Now, these macroeconomic data points aren't the only reason that have contributed, to Tesla falling down in the last couple of days. Of course, there's been, catalyst news, right? For example, recently we had news about, Tesla steering wheels getting, investigated as there's some faulty in them. Now, I do want to kind of put a little bit of my perspective on this. From what we know as far as Tesla in comparison to a bunch of other auto vehicles, is that 90% of the recalls that come from Tesla are recalls that could be done over the air, as they're just just software recalls, right? As opposed to other auto industry or auto companies where most of the recalls are faulty parts. So we really have to look at this with a grain of salt. Of course, safety is a top concern for any consumer looking to buy a Tesla vehicle. However, the impact of these faulty steering wheels may only be a small portion of Tesla vehicles out there. So this is why, this is just FUD. It's not something that we should absolutely just go ahead and continue selling Tesla stock or short Tesla stock for your trading accounts. But it's just something that has definitely contributed, along with, news of Toyota releasing another vehicle similarly priced to Tesla and also with similar range. So of course, this, catalyst news along with macroeconomic, news also has contributed to Tesla coming down. However, I want to go ahead and highlight something that I mentioned before, which is the price action, okay? So if we look at Tesla, one of the things I mentioned is that if we take a look at volume by price for Tesla, what we end up seeing is that there is a lot of volume by price around the, $227 area. And so I mentioned that that is going to be an area where there's going to be a struggle, as when there's a lot of volume by price, that means that shares are traded back and forth, and that just means that that's going to create areas of resistance and support. And so we didn't end up breaking above that area, of course, with the news coming out with economic data points and also just FUD with Tesla. But it looks like we're entering into this area where I have it highlighted with this red line, where we're entering into a lower volume by price area, right? So this is a big concern, because if we end up having more selling pressure for Tesla when we're in these areas, well, that means that Tesla can, just zip down faster, which is, terribly bad, especially, if you're trading or investing in Tesla. Now, full disclosure, I am bullish on Tesla in the long term. I do have exposure to Tesla in my long-term portfolio account. However, I do trade Tesla in my trading account, where I look at things from a shorter duration. And so I've been shorting Tesla the last couple of days, and one of the big concerns is, well, what is going to happen in the next coming days when we get more economic data points? And if they're looking bad, well, Tesla can just fall apart. However, if we do have buying pressure coming into Tesla, well, this will bring us back to this level where we have a lot of, volume by price, where, we could possibly just be moving sideways. So when you really look into it, we don't have much good news expected to come out for Tesla, right? The only good news that could possibly come out in the short time frame that could influence Tesla going up and having the overall market going up is if the macroeconomic data in the next couple of weeks shows that inflation is cooling down further, because then we could see Tesla break above that area where there's a lot of volume by price, and we could see Tesla go up further. However, the chances of that happening are very uncertain, right? So we're not entirely sure, so we're gonna have to wait until that happens. Now, the only other good news expected to come out for Tesla is really the Cybertrucks coming out, later on in the summer. Now, we don't have an exact date, and maybe when we do have an exact date, that's when we could see some potential, volume coming into Tesla, pushing it above, that volume by profile level, right? Volume by price level. So, overall, we don't have much good expected to come, and it looks like we have more hurdles coming. Now, with that being said, there is another important date that I want you guys to, really note down, and that is St. Patrick's Day, right? And the reason why St. Patrick's Day is an important date that you guys want to write down is because that is when the coupon code for the Push and Profit program expires, where you get 69% off the Push and Profit program, where you get over 5 hours of video lessons of me talking about what it is that I look into when it comes to trading and investing, and you have access to my daily briefings where I talk about what I'm looking in the overall market and market updates and what stocks I'm looking to trade and the reason why. So definitely pay attention to that coupon code. It does expire on St. Patrick's Day, which I believe is March 17th. So definitely take a look into that. Now, if there are any updated events that come unexpected with Tesla that, presents itself as good news or bad news, I will most certainly, let you guys know via video or on the community post. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And with that being said, guys, let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts for Tesla? And also, what are your thoughts for this really difficult situation that we have going on with unemployment and also with inflation? Because of course, in order to bring down inflation, we have to really look into the Phillips curve, and we have to understand that unemployment has to go up, which means that it's going to be very difficult for the overall economy. So you guys let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are. And with that being said, guys, make sure to watch this next video right over here. I'll see you guys on that next video. Take care, guys.